Hi guys, welcome to me and my lovely home and today's vlog, which is going to be on panic attacks in a nutshell. And do you like the fact that I'm kind of touring you around my living room? I was on the sofa in the last vlog and now I'm in the corner with the understairs cupboard and a bookshelf. I wanted to talk to you about panic attacks this time because I've mentioned them a few times on my Instagram, on my stories and in my posts, and I know a lot of other people also mention about having panic attacks, but it occurred to me that not everyone's going to actually know what a panic attack is, and I thought, you know what, I need to do a vlog and I need to tell you some facts and things about panic attacks so that you know, so if you see one you're gonna know more what it is, and if you experience one then you also know what it is, hopefully, and maybe it'll help you cope with it. As always with these in a nutshell vlogs, I'm going to put all the information and the research that I did in the description box below so that you can go and check it out yourself. You can do further reading or just check that I'm not just making this up. A panic attack is a sudden feeling of stress and anxiety. It is the fight or flight response. I feel like this video is cutting off my head slightly. Hang on a moment. Is that slightly better? So physical symptoms include an accelerated heart rate, dizziness, nausea, feeling disconnected from yourself and the world around you. There's a lot of different kind of symptoms, and as I said, if you want to check the links in the description box, and you can have a look at all the different types of symptoms there are for panic attacks. Panic attacks do vary between people. I know some people who faint when they have a panic attack because their body's trying to reset itself. There is also people who do sort of destructive behaviours to themselves. So someone I know bangs their head against a wall, someone else uses kind of like scratching and things like this to try and control their feelings of panic during a panic attack. Obviously these are quite harmful behaviours that can cause damage to themselves, so sometimes if it's not too damaging it's better just to let them do it, but if you find that it is quite damaging, it is a good idea to try and direct them sort of away from that behaviour. It's kind of, I suppose, hard to explain, but don't try and restrain them because that is a mistake. They will panic and make their symptoms so much worse if you try and restrict them by, say, holding them down or blocking their path and things like that. It's better to be near them and to watch them, but not to restrict what they're doing. A panic attack can last between 5 minutes and half an hour, but I know that some people may have a panic attack that only lasts like 10 minutes, but then they only have sort of a 10-20 minute break and then they have another panic attack. Before, a few years ago, when I was having a lot of problems with panic attacks, I was getting 2 or 3 a day. Obviously, if you're getting them a lot of frequency, it might be a sign of panic disorder, or it could also obviously be a sign of having anxiety, such as like I do. Generalised anxiety disorder can come with panic attacks as well. But some people who have panic attacks don't have any of these things. It is just because they're going through a particularly stressful time in their life. Maybe they've got a new job, moving house, getting married, having a baby, doing a combination of all these things together. You know, there's lots of different reasons, and they may have a panic attack or a couple of panic attacks or whatever at this time in their life and then just never have them again at all. What's really important, and I know some people struggle with this when they have a panic attack, is a panic attack is not a sign of anything else harmful happening. So some people feel that they're having a heart attack because obviously you have an accelerated heart rate and you can sometimes feel like you've got pins and needles in your arms, in your legs, and dizziness, and that obviously you're taught signs of a heart attack. And some people, because you're already obviously in a panic state, think that means that they're having a heart attack, will phone 999, go to the hospital, get checked out, they're having a panic attack, not a heart attack. Then the next time they have a panic attack, they feel that they're having a heart attack all over again and that the doctor or the hospital or whatever got it wrong. This is not the case. Obviously for myself, I think, well, I'm quite young. I'm not, got heart problems in my family and things, but also I know what a panic attack feels like. Once I was told this is a panic attack, I'm like, that's a panic attack. I know the feeling now. So when I have a panic attack, I don't feel that I need to go to the hospital. I mean, obviously it's really unpleasant and I really want it to end very quickly. But I find quite often as well, once I've had a panic attack, the feelings of anxiety tends to actually ease after a panic attack for a bit. It can build up again quite quickly, but it's actually a feeling of release for me. So I actually feel a bit better afterwards, but obviously this is not necessarily the case for everyone. And if you're really, really, really anxious and stressed or whatever, you may feel like it's no different. And that's why you tend to kind of go from one panic attack to another, to another, to another. During a panic attack, it is recommended to focus on your breathing, but I know that for some people this isn't going to be that great, because obviously your breathing is coming quickly when you have a panic attack, and that might make you panic more when you feel like you can't breathe. I tend to take deep breaths. I tend to go to try and sort of calm everything down, because it's true that once your breathing is calm and more regular, the rest of your symptoms will ease as well, so obviously you'll feel better. Another thing that is recommended is grounding techniques. I've not tried these myself, but I've heard a lot about them. They're supposed to be used for dissociation as well, but some people use like what they can see, what they can hear, and then what they can feel around them as good grounding techniques. Some people use objects that they find comforting, or having a drink. Sipping a drink keeps them sort of in reality and where they are now. I wouldn't recommend drinking something with caffeine in when you've got anxiety though. Do not. Sorry, just a big lorry going past the window. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing this because it does not help anxiety, and I probably should not be drinking a can of Coke. Another thing that may be recommended if you go to a doctor is CBT. And I use this. This is cognitive behavioural therapy for dummies. You can get referred to a proper counsellor for CBT, but also you can have online courses and books like this one. I know it sounds a bit insulting, but I find it really useful, and as you can see, it's quite comprehensive. There's a lot of information in there, and yeah, I found this really helpful for my panic attacks and for my anxiety. Another thing a doctor might do is give you beta blockers. Now, I was offered them when I went to the doctors like a week ago, and I decided not to have them, but before, when I was about 26, I was having panic attacks 2 or 3 times a day, and I decided to take beta blockers because of that. But it's not, my panic attacks aren't as frequent as that at the moment, so that's why I've chosen not to have them this time. But basically they reduce your heart rate when you're starting to panic and stuff, and your heart rate starts going up and all that. It reduces that, so that means that because those symptoms are going down, you sort of panic less. The physical symptoms have gone, because then obviously if your heart rate's not going up, you're not shaking, you don't tend to be sweating and things like that. So yeah, they are quite useful, but obviously, you know, I think beta blockers as well sound pretty, like, you think of them as when people have heart problems and stuff, and it's a bit kind of scary to take, I think, anyway. So that's one of the reasons why I declined them, but also, as I said, because my panic attacks are nowhere near as frequent as they were when I was younger. Something that I find useful, but is not actually recommended on the websites that I had to look at for research for this vlog, and that is distraction. And I don't mean sort of distraction when you feel like you're about to have a panic attack, because I've tried to do that before, and all it means is I'll have a panic attack later, and I think it actually makes me feel better if I just meet the panic attack and go with the flow, even though it's really unpleasant. It ends, and then hopefully that will be it for a while, though not for everyone, as I mentioned before. But my sister tends to talk to me when I have a panic attack, and when I'm like in the throes of having a panic attack, and at the beginning I'm just like, shut up, because obviously I feel really crap. I'm like sweating and my heart rate's going up, and I just feel horrible, and I don't really want to listen to her babbling on about nonsense. But before I know it, I am actually listening to her more and forgetting about how I'm feeling and my breathing, because she's persistent. And before I know it, I'm starting to feel better, and the panic attack's gone, and it's actually not as horrendous as I thought it was going to be. She actually sort of stops it by rabbiting on. I don't know, I couldn't tell you what she's actually talking about during these panic attacks. It just sounds like white noise to me, but it seems to help me. As well as having panic attacks myself, I've helped a lot of people through panic attacks as well, because it's one of the most common mental health problems, I guess. Is it a problem? Because as I said, you can just be going through a stressful time in your life. You don't necessarily have to have some other mental illness such as anxiety to actually have a panic attack. So they're quite frequent. And I think some of the things that are useful to help someone who is having a panic attack is not to crowd them. Don't put your arm around them. Don't sit too close. Sit near them and talk to them every so often. Remind them that you're there, and tell them that, you know, it'll be okay, that they're safe and things like that. I find that's really helpful. As I said, don't try and restrict them. Some people with panic attacks will walk around a lot. Let them walk around. Just stay near them. Don't, you know, you don't have to be right on top of them. Just stay near them to make sure they're not going to hurt themselves, but just let them walk around and pace around, hit the wall if they need to. So long as it's not doing any major damage to themselves, just let them, because you just need to ride out the panic attack. Do not try and stop it. It will make it worse. That is the end of today's mental health vlog of panic attacks in a nutshell. So I hope you enjoyed it and found some useful tips in there that you can maybe help manage your own panic attacks, or at least increase your understanding of panic attacks, and maybe you could help other people that may be having them, like colleagues, family members, friends, or whatever. As always, I'd really appreciate it if you could like this vlog, subscribe to my channel, and of course share this vlog and all my mental health vlogs as well, because I just really want to help end the stigma surrounding mental health and get people talking as much about their mental health as they do about their physical health, which reminds me of something. Why is it always at the end of these vlogs I think of something that I need to have a little bit of a rant about? So, I hope you're sitting comfortably. I'm going to take a drink at this point because oh my god, what am I, like 5? Just spilling my drink over me. Anyway, what I wanted to say was that I've been talking a lot on social media, especially Instagram, about my mental health problems that I've been having at the moment, because I think it's important to be open, and because obviously right now it's basically my whole life. And I thought it was important for me to communicate about it. And I've had a lot of lovely messages of support and people telling me about their own mental health problems and stuff, and I really appreciate all that. There's some lovely messages. One of the reoccurring messages is that they think that I'm brave for sharing about my mental health, and I just thought that was really odd. Like, loads of people share about the fact that they've got the flu or a cold, or they've broken their arm, or someone dislocated their hand recently and was talking about that, and that's all like perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with talking about those things. But why is there something wrong with talking about your mental health? Like, yes, okay, so I don't have the flu, but my head's not in the right place. It's not feeling very well at the moment. So why can't I talk about that? Like, I'm not the only person on the planet who has mental health problems. I'm not the only person in this house that has mental health problems. So why can't I talk about it? Like, loads of other people are going to be there going, oh yeah, I've felt like that before as well, or oh yeah, I know what you mean, and stuff like that. But because it's mental health, therefore I'm brave for doing it. I feel like there's a lot of stigma still going on, a lot of stigma. Come on people, share this vlog, help me end the stigma. So I will stop right there before I get carried away with my little rants that I seem to like to do at the end of these vlogs for some reason. I don't know why, I just think of these points that I feel like I have to share with everybody. So thank you for watching this vlog and bearing with me again at the end. And I will see you soon for another In a Nutshell vlog.